Tonight, chaos, fear, uncertainty, and a dark day in U.S. history.
The United States and the United States Congress have faced down much greater threats than the unhinged crowd we saw today.
Violent protesters taking over the Capitol in Washington, D.C., upset with the results of the 2020 presidential election.
We will not be kept out of this chamber by thugs, mobs, or threats.
Hours later, the inside cleared. Outside, more crowds and a curfew in place with Congress back in action certifying President-elect Joe Biden hours after what is typically a formality.
Now, January 6th will go down as one of the darkest days in recent American history.
A day that started as a formality, culminating with the barricaded House chambers and Capitol Police keeping protesters at bay with their guns drawn.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Congress is still working to certify Joe Biden as the president-elect after a wild day in Washington. Tonight, the National Guard is on the ground in Washington after that day. They're there doing crowd control as crowds remain outside the Capitol after a 6 o'clock curfew was put in place. But large groups are congregating while lawmakers remain inside the Capitol. At least 13 people were arrested, according to the mayor. Police also recovered 5 weapons, including long guns and handguns. The Washington, D.C. Fire Department says at least 7 people were transported to local hospitals with injuries. Police say 1 female shooting victim has died. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill tonight with more.
Members of Congress made their way through the halls back to the Capitol, flanked by law enforcement officers from multiple agencies.
Violence never wins. Freedom wins. And this is still the people's house.
On the Senate floor, Vice President Mike Pence gave a rousing speech as lawmakers reconvened to continue counting electoral votes. Earlier, rioters stormed the building, breaking through doors and busting windows. Capitol Police drew their weapons at one barricaded door from inside the House, though eventually protesters breached both chambers.
We forcefully got pushed through.
CBS News spoke with protester Boyd Camper from Montana, who was inside the Capitol.
Now, we did charge the aisle into the chambers, and we got tear gas and we got pushed back, okay? And after that, I retreated.
You have to go home now. We have to have peace.
President Trump posted a video that has since been removed from Facebook and Twitter, urging calm. Hours earlier, he addressed a gathering near the White House.
We will never give up. We will never concede.
President-elect Joe Biden also addressed the chaos here, calling it an assault on democracy and an insurrection.
Today's reminder, a painful one, that democracy is fragile, and to preserve it requires people of goodwill, leaders with the courage to stand up.
In response to the day's chaos, several Democratic lawmakers are now calling for President Trump to be removed from office.
Congress is still in action tonight, certifying President-elect Joe Biden. And as the scene at the nation's capital grew out of control, things were more calm in St. Paul. Hundreds of supporters of President Trump gathered at the Minnesota State Capitol to protest against the certification of Joe Biden as the winner of the presidential election. The Star Tribune reports today's demonstration was heavy on speeches and chants. Minnesota State troopers are guarding the state capitol complex, which has been fenced off since last summer's unrest after the death of George Floyd. Few people in the crowd of up to 500 people wore masks as they stood in opposition to the outcome of the election. One of those supporters included a resident from the Iron Range.
Good Lord, again, allowed me to be part of this election, again, to change things, again, to do something for the people. Because of your kids, your grandkids, they won't have a life. I am 77 years old. And again, I believe the Lord told me to step up to the plate, and I did. But again, He's the one that's in control. But again, I just can't lay down and play dead either.
After announcing a loosening of COVID-19 restrictions for Minnesota this afternoon, which we'll have more on later in the show, Governor Tim Walz issued his own statement regarding what happened at the nation's capital.
When our politics gets to the point where everything becomes so fractured, it's very difficult, and it's very difficult to run society that way. And so I want to acknowledge that eyes are on what's happening in D.C.
As the dust settles in Washington tonight, we're getting a better idea of what today's events could mean for the future. CBS 3's Natalie Grant sat down with the Northland political expert about the long-term impacts today's events could have.
Order was restored Wednesday night after a mob stormed the United States Capitol, sending it into lockdown.
It's a disgraceful scene. There's no question about that. What is happening outside the Capitol right now is just a disgrace.
Dr. Cindy Rugeley of UMD watched the events unfold. She says it was hard to witness, but at the end of the day, will not change President-elect Joe Biden's victory.
They will go through with this process. It's going to take a while. You know, and it would have taken a while had not this disgraceful scene taken place.
Everybody stay down! Get down! Dr. Rugeley says however long it takes, Biden will be certified as the next president, and the lawmakers who originally opposed it will face the consequences.
And I mean, it may not affect their electoral future, but it's going to affect how they were remembered in history.
Stick with us here on CBS 3 for continuing coverage of the electoral vote count and any events leading up to Inauguration Day. All right, let's switch gears and head on over for the weather. Dave, a pretty mild evening out there for us today.
Yeah, mild start to the day, and afternoon high temperatures were warmer than normal as predicted, and the prediction is they'll stay that way for a week ahead. So we take a look at today's top temps, keeping in mind the normal is 19, and Hibbing hit 30. 32 for Silver Bay, 28 in Superior, 33 towards Watersmeet. This trend, like I mentioned, likely will be with us for the next 7 days. Taking a look at the situation in the upper Midwest right now, we're getting a mostly cloudy sky again tonight, maybe some partial sunshine on Thursday. Otherwise, there's a chance the mostly cloudy sky could stick around for a while, blocking the progression of those two lows, keeping us dry but cloudy, including the forecast here for Thursday, which says we'll be mostly cloudy to partly sunny all day long, starting warmer than normal at 18, finishing warmer than normal around 26. Any hint of snow this week? Well, I'll show you with the 7-day forecast in just a couple more minutes.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Dave. As COVID cases drop in the state, Minnesota's governor announced he's loosening restrictions on local businesses. Governor Tim Walz says the new rules will go into effect on Monday. Bars and restaurants will be allowed to serve customers indoors with limits. Gyms and fitness centers can also reopen at 25% capacity. Indoor entertainment venues like movie theaters, bowling alleys, and museums can also open at 25% capacity. Walz says it's on everyone to help struggling businesses by doing their part to slow the spread.
That keeps your local bar and restaurant open. It keeps your school open. It keeps your hospital capacity under. And we know that the data supports it strongly. Those simple measures of masking, social distancing, washing hands, and staying home if you're sick make the biggest impact.
Walz is also encouraging everyone who can to continue working from home. He says testing is widely available for anyone who needs it. Meanwhile, restaurant and bar owners in the Northland are reacting positively today to the news of being able to open back up come Monday. CBS 3's John Cardinelli spoke with those in the restaurant industry about the relaxed restrictions and explains what they hope to see from our state leaders in the future.
Northland restaurant owners are happy to be able to partially open their doors come Monday.
Personally, this one was much tougher than the last one.
Dustin Tomasetti, the executive chef at Pickwick, says being closed during the holidays was a huge loss.
December is usually our biggest month of the year. I mean, we're talking, good 6 figures. There's no doubt about it.
But despite the losses, Tomasetti is ecstatic to get back to work.
I'm eager to get staff back. Those are the people that we've really been thinking about this whole time. So lucky enough that we're doing okay and we're ready to get back into it, but a really good day today.
Up a couple blocks at Burrito Union, the same sentiment is being expressed.
I'm so thankful we're reopening.
Rod Raymond, co-owner of Burrito Union, says he is happy coronavirus numbers have declined statewide while they were closed.
What's certain is we at the Burrito Union believe in science, and we were thankful for the closing, and we believe that it seemed to have flattened the curve.
Moving forward, however, Raymond would like to see more clarity from elected officials.
I'm hoping as our government focuses on certainty and understands that we're certain this is the plan right now. We're not certain this virus is going to have mutations or have other things going on, but right now this is the plan. You're at 50%, plan to stay that way indefinitely until we go higher.
Both Tomasetti and Raymond say they are hopeful for the future, but are prepared should another shutdown occur. After 9 days on the run, the suspect in a fatal shooting on the Fond du Lac Reservation is behind bars tonight. Police took Joseph Forncam into custody today at an apartment complex on the White Earth Reservation. This comes after a shooting outside a Breveter Township home in the early morning hours on December 28th. Authorities say he shot and killed 16-year-old Joseph Peterson, although witnesses say the gun went off accidentally. Forncam's mother, Little Fawn Forncam, was also arrested in connection to this shooting. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, with schools shut down during the pandemic, some local restaurants helped keep kids' bellies full. Now one hopes to keep their minds sharp. We have the details coming up.
45 is our record high temp from 2012. Didn't get that warm today, but still 30s warmer than normal. And that's a trend that will continue. We'll talk about for how long coming up after the break.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Across the country. The world changed in an instant, but at MediaCom, we were ready. And as internet traffic increased, we never slowed down. Schools and businesses went virtual, and we powered a new reality. For more than 20 years, we've been building a future-ready network to keep you ahead of it all. And now, MediaCom will be among the first to take you to 10G. We're making the next giant leap forward in internet technology and taking you further than you can imagine.
Why wait for that tax refund or stimulus check to buy new furniture, appliances, or TV when you can buy those things today at EasyOwn with a low down payment and affordable monthly payment? If you're expecting a tax refund or stimulus check, then this is the perfect time to take advantage of EasyOwn's no interest or super low interest programs. So if you want to buy new furniture, appliances, TV, computer, or game system, come into EasyOwn today. Get the things you want with payments you can afford at EasyOwn.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the Kelly Clarkson Show!
I can't even hug her. I'm touching people. I'm touching you. I'm touching you.
This show is about connection. And not even 2020 and socially distancing ourselves, they're going to get in the way of that.
Are we 6 feet apart?
Let's just check it out.
The major key is to make sure they watch the Kelly Clarkson Show.
It feels good.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, last week we did manage to get a little snow, and over the weekend we got some hoarfrost, and both of those conspired to paint a pretty picture around our region, a pretty picture that looks great even today when the sky is fairly gray. This picture today comes courtesy of James Mateo. Well, similar pictures just might stick with us for the week ahead because the sky likely will stay on the gray side as we sit in between high and low pressure systems, neither side really taking over the weather. So we'll be splitting the difference, of course. A low will try to keep the clouds up, and the high will try to keep precip at bay, like we're seeing here in Virginia right now. No snow falling, even though January, of course, is a great time to get some. Frankly, I don't think we're going to get any in the week ahead. I was talking about a 30% chance for Saturday last night, but now the models have dropped that down to like 12% chance. So odds are we're going to get the clouds, but not the precip. What we're getting right now at the airport is a current temp of 26, with an east wind of 9 miles per hour and 1,031 millibars air pressure at the surface. But even though the high is winning out with barometer readings, the lows just off to our west are keeping the clouds up above us. Current temperatures dipping into the teens now in the Upper Peninsula. We have 18 in Ironwood, and across the border in Hurley it's very similar. Ashland's at 15, Superior has 26, Moose Lake 27, 28 Silver Bay, down to 10 in Ely, but still 18 International Falls. Most towns will probably fall into the teens here tonight, and right by the shores of Lake Superior, about 18 to 20 possible there. Doppler map right now shows clouds in the sky as lower pressure systems from the west try to take over our area. But their progression is being thwarted by this high that's just off to our south in the east. So they're stopping and moving to the south. Our clouds are spinning over into the area from these lows, but the precip is staying well to our south and likely will for the week ahead, because once those two lows move by for the weekend, weaker high pressure takes over, and it's going to stay mild around here, but conditions will be dry. A little bit cloudy on Saturday, perhaps even mostly cloudy Saturday, but we could finally get some sun from this high on Sunday, brightening up the picture, at least for a day. Tonight, Minnesota temperatures. They're going to go 13 inland to 20 by the lake with a mostly cloudy sky. And that sky will be shared with Wisconsin and the UP. Low temps there, about 15 to 17 for most locations. But again, right by the shores of Lake Superior, could be a hair warmer there. For tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, numbers upper 20s to about 30, mostly cloudy sky. Southeast wind, a very gentle one, 5 miles an hour roughly. Minnesota high temps 25 to 27 with that mostly cloudy sky. But no snow. And like I said, with the 7-day forecast, I really don't see any snow. Stays cloudy through Saturday, stays warm all week long. Sunday is the best day to get some sunshine. Last Saturday and Sunday were pretty nice. This one, at least Sunday, could be about the same there, Tony. And then once we get into Monday through Wednesday next week, we go back towards splitting the difference between high and low. Dry, but a little bit cloudy.
Okay, sounds good. I was a little surprised this morning at how late that fog lingered around down here by the lake.
Yeah, it really did, but it did break a bit up over the hill, and there were a couple of peaks that blew. Okay. You got a couple miles inland.
Yeah, it's always pretty this time of year. Thanks, Dave. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer said the state will now enter the next phase of the vaccination rollout next Monday, with first responders and residents over 65 next up in line. The news comes as the state approaches 550,000 total cases. Whitmer said Wednesday that every shot in the arm is a step closer to ending the pandemic. Now, Michigan is currently under an order issued by the Department of Health and Human Services until January 15th. Under that order, certain segments of the economy, such as indoor dining at restaurants and serving concessions at entertainment venues, are banned. Whitmer says she's working to make sure all Michiganders can get a vaccination.
There are not enough vaccines coming from the feds. Our goal is to use 90% of distributed vaccines within 7 days of when we receive them. And if we are moving fast enough, we will likely run out each week, given the allocation we are receiving now.
Many counties are seeing an increase in their 7-day average new cases around the state. When schools were shut down last spring, a Duluth restaurant kept students full with free meals. Now they're hoping to feed their minds. Burrito Union spent the day installing new bookshelves in their Chester Park neighborhood restaurant. They're starting a free book exchange program where you can drop off an old book and pick up a new one. Owner Rod Raymond says he hopes it will help the community thrive.
Curiosity and imagination. We need to use this in this time, right? And if me as a small little restaurant owner in small little Duluth can do something with that, with just the spark of books, continue to build the community with an educated mind.
Book exchange will begin Monday when the restaurant is able to open for indoor dining again. He says anyone can take part. Raymond plans to donate some of his classics as well. After 20 years on the job, one of Duluth Fire's top leaders has earned himself a new title. Former Deputy Fire Marshal John Otis has been selected to serve as the department's next Deputy Chief of Life Safety. The position has been open since May. The new deputy chief has taken the lead on a number of high-profile investigations, including the Adas Israel Synagogue, Pastorate Terrace, and Cozy fires. Otis tells us he's excited to serve the city he loves.
I've fallen in love with the city of Duluth. So I kind of have a passion to make Duluth a better place to live and to work and to do business.
And I'm looking forward to his leadership moving forward on how we can even improve an already great division.
Deputy Chief Otis officially took the job on Monday. Duluth's Warming Center will remain open until January 11th. This comes due to temperatures hovering in the 30s. Lake Superior Community Health Center will be at the Warming Center providing COVID-19 testing and acute care services. The Warming Center is located at the Rainbow Center and will operate from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, Republicans were defeated and power of the Senate has changed. More details from the Georgia runoff election coming up next.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
At Menards, we know how important it is to be comfortable in your home. Upgrade now with comfy interior furniture, and you'll get a free area rug. That's right. Get a free 5x7 rug valued at $149.99 with the purchase of any upholstered living room furniture at $299 or more. Find the perfect furniture to fit any decor. From love seats to sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Menards has what you need to start relaxing now. Plus, get a free rug.
Save big money at Menards.
Mount Royal Market has express online shopping. Shop online and select your items. Your personal shopper carefully gathers everything on your list. Schedule your pickup and we deliver right to your car. Express online shopping from Mount Royal Market. Let us take care of you.
We're in your neighborhood with news that matters to you.
For the Christmas weekend has come and gone.
The 6-month search has ended in Ashland, and folks
accepted a proposal to turn the broke-down palace building
for 2021 was set at 17. Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
I don't think any other year is ever going to be like 2020. I never thought that I would go through something like this ever in my life. This pandemic's not a isolated thing to our country or to our state or to our city. This is something that's affecting the world, and that just shows really how interconnected we all are. And I think that's why news is so important, because news is kind of like that lifeline to kind of bring that information out and bring us all together.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19, and at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready because sometimes the front lines are in our own backyard. We will always be there when our community needs us the most. Find out more about serving your community part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Northwest Outlet is your ARE truck topper headquarters.
Don't let the weather ruin your day.
Covered by a winter storm watch.
Dave Anderson, Caitlin Moffett, and Peter Kavitkauskas. The CBS3 weather team, tracking more than just severe storms. Dave For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS3.
The balance of power has shifted in the United States Senate after 2 runoff elections in Georgia. The shift comes after Democrats John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock defeated their Republican opponents overnight. The candidates spent $340 million on this race in just the last 2 months, and more than 4.5 million people voted. Candidates can request a recount if the margin of victory is 0.5% or less, but right now neither race is that close, with 98% of precincts reporting. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer issued a statement this morning saying, quote, "It feels like a brand new day. For the first time in 6 years, Democrats will operate a majority in the United States Senate." Still ahead in sports, Minnesota and Michigan meet in a top 25 battle on the hardwood. Plus, the Pistons and Bucks square off once again. Highlights coming up right after the break.
Welcome to the Kelly Clarkson Show!
Complying with national guidelines is made easy with the Cetus commercial touchless forehead thermometer. The instant read LCD digital display yields an accurate body temperature reading from 2 to 4 inches within half a second.
From schools, offices, shops, and all other public places, keep yourself safe and compliant with a hands-free thermometer that's easy to install and easier to use. Visit www.cetusonline.com. That is CETUSonline.com.
With locations throughout the Northland and northern Wisconsin, Super One Liquor has you covered for all of your party and gathering needs. We have a commitment to deliver outstanding service, variety, and top quality wines and spirits. And don't forget the best variety of ice-cold beer and beverages, all at the low prices you've come to expect. Super One Liquor. Come for the service, leave with the savings.
This year has been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS3.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. Plus, subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19, and at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Baki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Baki. Tuesdays at 10 only on Live Local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association.
The Bucks haven't been able to host any fans so far this season, but they've maintained a perfect record at Fiserv Forum. Winners of their last three on their home court, going for 4 tonight against the Detroit Pistons. Each team decided to take a knee on their opening possessions of the game. But once they got going, it was everything you would probably expect. Giannis hits it to open up an early double-digit lead. He had 25 on the night, and Chris Middleton was 5 of 6 from downtown for 23 points. Milwaukee coasts to a win and stays perfect at home. Fifth consecutive game this season, the Gophers have faced a ranked opponent as they matched up with 10th-ranked Michigan. First half, Minnesota big man Liam Robbins getting an early look at an open three. He drains it. His 9th three of the season gives the team a 5-2 lead. Later on, now a 4-point game. Minnesota ball again until Isaiah Livers swipes it and takes it the other way for the slam. Michigan leads 21-15. Second half, Michigan starting to pull away. Livers drives and dishes it to Mike Smith, who drops a 3. 15-point lead for Big Blue. Michigan rolls past Minnesota 82-57. UMD women's basketball coach Mandy Pearson received the call that no coach wants to hear during the age of COVID on Sunday. Their road game against Winona had been canceled due to positive tests within the opposing program. Due to HIPAA rules, UMD cannot reveal how many players they are down due to positive tests and quarantining, but the ones that are eligible to play are back to practice. It certainly wasn't how the team wanted to start this season.
Administration is doing a great job. They're following the protocols. They're doing their 3 tests a week. I think we just thought we were going to be fine. You're seeing just across the board lots of programs in the NSIC having issues with COVID testing. So it was a surprise because we thought we could play, but I think us and our players are pretty mentally prepared. I mean, since this whole thing has started, every single day is going to be completely different.
The coaches set such a great example of that positivity. It just doesn't really matter who you are on the team. I think it just helps that everyone's energy and, you know, some people aren't in the gym this week, but they're still giving off those positive vibes, which is really huge for our group.
UMD takes on Minot State at home this weekend. For the first time this season, the UMD men's hockey team will get to play at home, but who they will be playing is already a familiar face this year, as the Bulldogs will face the St. Cloud State Huskies for the second consecutive weekend. The two teams split the series last week, with UMD taking Saturday's contest 4-3 in overtime. Head coach Scott Sandelin recapped the weekend and detailed what areas the team needs to clean up.
You know, they're a puck pressure team. You know, they've got some talented forwards offensively, which like we saw, I think Sunday too, like I said, they possess the puck. So we got to learn how to stop plays and make sure we slow their transition. I thought we did a much better job of that on the first game and Saturday, making sure we were above people. Sunday, I thought we got a little away from that.
In other UMD hockey news, their game against Colorado College that was supposed to happen in the pod has now been rescheduled. Thursday, February 18th, UMD will host Colorado College. Game time is to be determined, but you can catch the game on our My9 Sports Network. Now that's all for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
The COVID-19 pandemic is the worst healthcare crisis of our lifetime. Hospitals, care centers, and their staff are overwhelmed, and it's getting worse. By now, we all know someone who's been affected by the virus. But there is hope. Vaccines are coming and getting closer every day. But while we wait for relief, you need to do your part. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and maintain your distance. It's for now, not forever.
I'm Steve Scooby. I'm one of the general surgeons at St. Luke's. I love being a surgeon, and I take my job very seriously. But it's always nice to go home and spend time with my children and focus on having a balance between being at work and spending time with my family. Like most surgeons, I really enjoy being in the operating room. However, I think the best part of my job is being in clinic and seeing patients come back to me fixed and feeling better. Knowing that they're doing well after surgery is really satisfying to me.
Welcome to the Kelly Clarkson Show!
I can't even hug her. I'm touching people. I'm touching you. I'm touching you.
This show is about connection, and not even 2020 and socially distancing ourselves if they're going to get in the way of that.
Are we 6 feet apart?
Let's just check it out.
The major key is to make sure they watch the Kelly Clarkson Show.
Always ready, always there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Baki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Baki. Tuesdays at 10 only on live local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association. Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men. Celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide. Downtown Duluth.
Arizona's Grand Canyon may have met its match, and it's not even on this planet. NASA released this photo of a canyon on Mars. It's supposedly the largest canyon in our solar system. It stretches more than 2,500 miles across the Martian equator and is 7 miles deep. I believe that's deeper than Challenger's Deep. According to NASA, if on Earth, this valley would span roughly from New York City to San Francisco. Scientists at the University of Arizona took it with a special camera called HiRISE. It's the most powerful camera ever sent to another planet. Dave, I think Challenger's Deep is what, 5 miles deep? Something like that? 25,000 feet?
Which would be about 35,000 feet.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
And Marianas Trench is about 35,000 feet
Okay.
deep. So that Martian Trench is pretty deep.
A little deeper,
and it's
yeah.
on the equator where they sometimes get towards 70 in the summertime on that planet.
Oh, interesting.
Otherwise, Mars is awfully cold.
Yeah.
So if we ever get there, Tony, we need to stay on the equator. You know, you might think we're on the equator this week because our temperatures are warmer than normal. We're not going below zero at all for the next 7 days. And 19 is the normal high. We're going to beat that by upwards of 5 to 10 degrees just about every day. It's going to be fairly cloudy. Sunday may be the only really sunny day we get, but no snow.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Enjoy.